Hey everybody, welcome back to Motherboards.org. I'm Eric Ferris, your host. Today I have my co-host from ASUS, and this is JJ. You guys all know and love him. We call him Mr. ASUS around here. And today we're going to be taking a look at another one of their wireless routers. Today we're going to be looking at the RT-N65U, which has all kinds of great technology that you guys are going to like. So let's jump in and let's see why this thing's worth talking about. So what's up, JJ? Let's
How you doing, boss? As always, thank you for having me, man. So yeah, we've got a really killer unit here. A lot of the users out there that maybe are interested in networking technologies are probably pretty familiar with 802.11n. It's been on the market for a long time, and there's been a lot of refinements and improvements to the technology. And with this unit, we're really targeting kind of users that want the best 802.11n wireless experience. Now, we do have AC products that have just come out, so some of the users that are maybe looking at the highest level of performance might be a little bit better suited looking at AC as the ultimate performance marker, but this thing is really uncompromised at the best level of 802.11n wireless experience that's out there. Now, who this is going to be specifically targeting are going to be people that are looking for definitely wireless level great wireless gaming for one, because that's going to require definitely low latency, high signal throughput, users that are also interested in high bitrate video streaming or audio streaming, as well as cloud-based storage functionality. That's going to really kind of be the sweet spot for somebody considering the 65U.
Now, a lot of people don't really realize this, but if you out there, you have a Hulu account, you have any of these accounts where you stream videos, one of the very first things before they show you the movie, you don't know this, most of you, they actually test your connectivity speed. And if your connectivity speed isn't good, you're going to get a lower quality video. So you might be clicking on a thing that says it's an HD video, but if your network isn't fast enough, you're only going to get it in regular quality. And so something like this can actually help you eliminate that bottleneck and make sure you get the highest quality streaming, which is possible.
That's actually 100% correct. There's tons of different on-demand services that use what's called variable bitrate encoding. That you're right. You know, I mean, your internet pipeline is, of course, always going to be the ultimate kind of dictator as far as what kind of experience you can have. But let's say you've got a high performance, good quality, maybe cable, Fios, even a high speed DSL connection, you know, 12, 20, 40 megabits, whatever it might be. That's going to always allow you to get a great HD on-demand experience. But your router could definitely be the bottleneck at that, especially if you're having what's called concurrent connections. Now, this router is going to actually have the ability to do 300 megabits 2.4 connections, and then 450 megabits 5 gigahertz connections, and then also offer gigabit connectivity on the Ethernet ports, and then even actually USB 3 attached storage. So let's take
750.
a look. Yeah, 750 in terms of the total throughput. But let's talk a little bit more about that specification where we talk about 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Most routers on the market only feature a single what's called SoC chip. So that processing chip is constrained to try to do all those active connections at one time, and that can compromise the stability and the performance.
Not it's like anything, it just gets overloaded.
Yeah, it gets overloaded. I mean, definitely there are some processors on the market that are better capable at handling a high level of demand, even if it's a single chip design. But here we wanted to really kind of provide an outstanding level of experience, especially for users interested in the best performance for 5 gigahertz. So we actually have a second CPU on this router.
So there's two of them in there.
That's correct.
And they're each dedicated, like you said before, to do different stuff, right?
That's correct. So one chip is specifically dedicated for 5 gigahertz connectivity. So this helps to ensure that if you're actively streaming video, you're doing maybe data backups, you're doing gaming on there, you're going to get the best experience from that regardless of what might be happening on the Ethernet connection or on that 2.4 gigahertz connection. So that helps to ensure really the best overall wireless throughput performance.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus definitely for this unit, and that helps you to kind of know if that's the user out there that's doing those type of connections and you're concurrently doing all those at one time, this is going to be a really great router for you.
Yeah, I get some users basically tell me, oh man, it doesn't matter what router I use, it's a router's a router's a router. That's like going out and saying a hamburger's a hamburger. It's just not. There's different qualities of everything, and when you use higher quality stuff, it just works better.
No, definitely, and to that degree, you also actually talked to me in the past about, you know, well, what do you guys do to help to ensure long-term reliability? And as we discussed that, we actually have an integrated heatsink technology that's built onto this unit, which helps to dissipate the heat, especially when you're doing those concurrent loads. This can help to ensure better long-term reliability and stability in your signal.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that actually that a router can get hot. You know, and that with new change in technology that now that ASUS is implementing, this thing should actually run a lot better and a lot cooler too. So
that is definitely one key thing. So And taking a look at the unit, we have a lot of connectivity that we see here on the back, right? And so kind of rounding out some of these connection options, we can see right here, we of course got the 4 gigabit Ethernet ports. These are actually powered by our Turbo NAT processor and firmware that we have built in here. And what that essentially just really means is that we're going to give you the best level of performance you can have for your local Ethernet connected systems. Most routers are usually going to give you between about 500 to maybe about 650 megabits of throughput. Our units are generally exceeding 800 to 900 megabits of local Ethernet based throughput.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah. So in addition to that, you also have that high performance, of course, for the wireless connectivity, and then you've got something really cool, which are blue USB ports, as opposed to your normal ports. As we know,
USB 3.0.
That's correct. Those blue ports mean that we've got USB 3, which gives us that much higher throughput. A lot of the basic routers that are on the market give you much lower performance, usually between about 2 to maybe 4, maybe 5 megabytes throughput. Our units, like the the RT-N65U or 56U, those units are usually getting between 12 to 18 megabytes. This one actually has much, much higher performance.
Well, and if people don't think that the USB 3.0 connectivity is much faster, they're wrong. We have to transfer large video files all the time, and we found from just switching over to our Kingston drive, we got one from them, it's an external USB 3.0, we went from files taking 20 minutes to transfer to taking 3 minutes. Just from changing from one protocol to the next. So it really does have a much bigger impact than people, I think, really think about.
It is a big difference. You do want to keep in mind that the USB 3 performance though on a router is going to be very different than on a PC. So here we're going to be looking much closer to, let's say, about 15 to almost 30 megabytes of throughput performance. So still, in many cases, it could be double or 3x the USB performance of your current existing router, if it even has a USB port, but it's not going to be in the same league as what you're going to have on a, let's say, desktop-enabled PC. Yeah. But that USB connectivity is still going to be able to open you up to all kinds of cool things like our AI disk technology. So with AI disk, that means you can go ahead and attach like a flash drive or USB external hard drive and be able to actually get tons of content on demand, either through your local intranet or externally through the internet.
Now, if I was using this product and I had my hard drive hooked up to it and say that I needed my cameraman to access some files, like would he be able to access those files just by logging into a file and going through this, kind of like with some of the other stuff you showed me?
Definitely. They would actually be able to go straight into this and be able to actually access the files that are stored on that drive, whether they're music, documents, videos, whatever type of files that are stored on there. And we're even going to allow for a greater level of functionality with our AI cloud software.
Your own personal Dropbox.
So moving along from the USB ports and the AI cloud that we're going to be supporting in a future firmware is we've got a lot of really cool software that you can't see in terms of course, the hardware on the unit, but it exists on the firmware on the inside of the unit. And this covers a lot of different things like, let's say, the setup experience. The setup experience is kind of one of those things that a lot of users have frustrating problems when they're going about setting up a router, but we've made the process really simple. Whether you're going directly and doing it maybe on a notebook or on a tablet or a smartphone or on a desktop system, whether it's Apple-based or whether it's Windows-based, doesn't matter. There's no software that's required. We have an automatic takeover system, so either you can just connect to our wireless SSID, or you can go ahead and just connect an Ethernet port, open up your web browser, and it'll take you through the setup process. Usually within about 30 to 45 seconds, you're going to be online, connected, and secured, and be rocking and rolling.
Yeah, that's a really good thing, because in the past, I admit we've had some trouble getting some of those products to work here. We'll go, hook them back up, they'll go, we'll go back into the room, and nothing actually even works at all. I know users have told me that themselves they've had a lot of problems. So having something that's almost like plug-and-play connectivity truly will be a real benefit.
So yeah, definitely I agree. If we can make the setup process as easy as possible, that's always going to be preferred for the user. So that's something that's taken care of in the firmware. But
pain-free.
Yeah, definitely. Along with the WTR firmware, we've got a number of really cool functions. Like one, we have Download Master. So Download Master is a really cool way that you can go ahead and download things like HTTP files, FTP, torrent applications, torrent files, different things like that directly to that USB attached storage device without even having your computer on. You can just enter in the address information either directly into the router, or you can go ahead and do it via an application like if you dial in from like let's say a smartphone or a tablet into the router, or there's an add-in application also that you can install on your PC so that it just monitors the download files and it'll feed it directly into the router so you can download those directly. And of course that helps to save power because you don't have to have your actual PC on to download just a simple file.
Yeah, that's a really good feature.
In addition to that, of course, those USB ports also work in conjunction with allowing you to share a multifunction printer or even dongle support. So for like a 3G or for like 4D dongle, you can go ahead and connect that and be able to share internet connectivity. You've also got cool stuff like VPN support if maybe you're in a business type environment and you need to be able to remotely dial into your server or be able to connect to your workplace connectivity, you can go ahead and enter that information and it's built in, it's ready to go. For users that have high performance internet connections but might have a data cap, a lot of ISPs are starting to implement some type of data cap on those services. We have a built-in traffic monitor so that you can see the type of traffic performance and the data that's being aggregated, whether it's on 2.4, whether it's on 5 gigahertz, or whether it's on your LAN connectivity. So a really large, robust level. There's even cool things like what are called Dlna media server or iTunes media server built into this unit, so that if I have, let's say, that USB attached storage and I turn on my iTunes media server, every single system that I have iTunes on will automatically see the USB attached storage device here, and if I have music on there, then I can have it immediately available in iTunes to me to play it.
That alone is a really good feature to mention. That's a really good feature, JJ. A lot of people, I think that probably, honestly, that media, music, and movies are probably going to be the most things that almost everybody's going to be sharing in their household. Information and stuff people keep, but I think in your household, you really want everybody to be able to watch all the movies that you get, all the music that you have, so that your whole family can share in the experience that you've already paid for.
I definitely agree. With the Dlna Media Center, it's more robust, and that also works directly in Windows Media Player. Same thing, you'll see the router show up in Windows Media Player, and it even offers the benefit of being accessible to music, movies, and videos, while the iTunes Media Server is just limited right now to music. But definitely some really robust and cool level of functionality. And like we talked about earlier, for you guys that are interested in finding more about the AI cloud software, which is going to give you some really awesome stream, share, and sync functionality, whether it's in your local network or your external network, make sure to check out the video that we're going to be doing, because it's going to be pretty cool. But this is just going to be an awesome unit for anybody that's looking for a high performance wireless storage, looking for the best stability, great range, minimal setup, and being able to take advantage of high performance wireless adapters like these two 3x3 solutions that we have, like the EA or the USB N66.
Well, one question I know some people are going to ask is, like, you don't see externally antennas, but there are high-powered antennas built actually inside the unit. True?
Most definitively, we have actually a specialized Omni radar system that's built into this that dynamically analyzes the channels as well as signals that are in the air, and it is an amplified antenna design, so it can give you very, very high performance throughput and very good quality signal and range out of this unit. It's a very simple process in terms that you don't have to worry so much about positioning as you would like maybe some of our other units like the 66U, which has detachable antennas and can even provide farther range and better throughput, but might require a little bit of positioning to get the overall best experience, while this we've kind of more optimized for just a kind of straight set it up and get a great out-of-box experience.
Plug and play it and go. And how much is this coming to market for right now?
Right now it's still a little bit kind of in flux because it's just right now sitting a retailer positioning, but it's going to be sitting above our RT-N56U, which is right now usually about $100 to about $110. So you should be seeing a little bit of a premium above that.
Maybe like 120, 125 range?
I'd say somewhere between probably about $120, about $150.
Excellent. All right, folks, so there you guys have it. Once again, make sure you check out the new video of the AI Cloud. And if you guys want to see any different technology explained, please leave your comments in the comment section below, and we will try to accommodate you. I'm Elric. This is my co-host, JJ. We'll see you guys back here on Motherboards.org with more tech goodness.